Hey friends, John Bush here from MyBraveBotanicals.com to talk to you about how Kratom can help with stress and anxiety. I'm here at the beach in Acapulco, Mexico, Playa Bonfil, our favorite little dive spot with restaurants here in a small little beach town and the beautiful waves. So this is great stress relief for me, but if you're in the city, working, kids are driving you nuts, stressed out, relationship problems, have trouble communicating with others, or going to social events without feeling anxious, Kratom can be a wonderful remedy. First of all, what is Kratom? Kratom is a member of the coffee family. It's made from the ground up powderized leaves of the Kratom evergreen tree, which is primarily grown in Southeast Asia, mainly Indonesia. It's been used for centuries by indigenous folk in Southeast Asia as a way to take the edge off. Instead of sitting around drinking beer after work, the workers would sit around and drink Kratom tea. A lot of workers would use it when they're laboring in the fields and stuff. So it really helps to basically take the edge off. There's different varieties. There's green, white, and yellows, and then there's red varieties. The red ones tend to be a little more sedative. A lot of people use them for pain. And it's the green, white, and yellows, especially the green and white, that can really help people with anxiety and stress. I experienced this firsthand, and it was one of the reasons why I really fell in love with Kratom. I used to take bus tours with my family in the Bitcoin.com bus as a 40-foot, 4-ton school bus that I didn't have much experience driving, but we would take it on these cross-country road trips, visiting meetups, talking to businesses about cryptocurrency and liberty. And I recall being real stressed out on one of the trips. I was the driver, and I was also helping with the fundraising, and we had all sorts of obligations for our sponsors in regards to podcast sponsorships, posts and articles and stuff. But I had to do all the driving of the big school bus, and it was hard and stressful for me because I was thinking about, man, I've got all these bills to pay back at home. I still got to upload this podcast and make this post, but here I am having to drive to get to our next destination, feeling really anxious, behind on this, behind on that, and I've got so stressed to the point where I was starting to have a little tightness in my chest, which isn't something that really happens very often for me. So I remember that I brought some Kratom on the trip. It's probably like 3 years ago. And I thought, hey, why don't I bust out that Kratom? So I pulled over the big school bus, busted out some Kratom, just like 1 teaspoon in a glass of water. I drank that, and literally 15 minutes later, 10 to 15 minutes later, the tightness in my chest completely wiped away. And on top of that, I kind of had a different outlook on the situation. Rather than thinking about it from a spot of scarcity, I was thinking about it from abundance. Wow, how blessed we are to have this trip that we've gone on. It's funded by sponsors. We have some obligations back at home, but we're going to get to them. We're doing this trip, we're doing all this promo, and it completely flipped the script for me. It was great. Another way that it's helped with me in stressful situations is I got 2 kiddos. They're ages 5 and 7, and they're great. I love them to death, and sometimes they're a bit of a handful. They're unschooled, peaceful parented, so man, they have free will like no other. They're little sovereigns. And sometimes that can lead to some tension when they're not really respecting my wisdom. I'm not going to say authority because I don't try to hold authority over them. We try to have more of a balanced relationship. And sometimes I'd love for them to yield to me whenever it's something about safety, whenever it's something they're doing that they're young and naive, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And so there's tension and stress, and sometimes I can be a little short-tempered or short-fused, and I'll raise my voice, or I'll just get short with them. It's not pleasant for me, it's not pleasant for them, it's not living in line with my values. So, in those instances, there was a period where I was a little more stressed out than usual. Usually happens with this horsey. Caballero! Usually happens when I am working a whole lot and also parenting. And so I got to the point where I started to feel that tension rise, and I was mindful of that tension. Okay, I'm feeling that stress now. This is usually when I get a little snappy. So I would cut that off. I would go down, pour up a Kratom drink, and wouldn't you know it, just like with the example on the bus, after drinking this Kratom for like 10-15 minutes, the edge is just taken off. And I'm able to have things just roll off of me and go with the flow a lot easier. There's a lot of people that don't drink, and as such, they don't go out to social gatherings or happy hour or people's houses because they feel social anxiety. They don't want to drink because they don't like the way it makes them feel, or maybe they're recovering alcoholic. A lot of people use Kratom to deal with anxiety because, like I said, it just really takes the edge off and makes things a little more enjoyable and chill, tranquilo, as they would say here in Mexico. So that's how Kratom helps for stress and anxiety. I've been selling Kratom for over 2 years now. Check out mybrainbotanicals.com. We got some high quality stuff, great prices, excellent customer service. And if you're feeling stress or anxiety and having some trouble dealing with it, give Kratom a try. It's all natural. Peace and freedom. I'm out.